What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for joining me. I kind of want to talk about. We did a video last night talking about the UVALDE um, video that came out. That came out on Tuesday, and basically it kind of shed some light on the response of the police officers there, and the lack of, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions on these things. And if you don't know mine, you can go watch the video and see mine. So in the video, I kind of want to talk about one thing. In the video, there was an officer, and I'll put the photo up on the screen there, that was checking his phone. Now, a lot of people were up in arms because he was checking his phone. And I said in the video that that's not what I was showing it. I didn't really care, that he was checking his phone, because you don't know what the reasoning is, and you can watch that said in the video. But a lot of people are upset because he's looking at his phone. I'm commented on the Punisher skull, right? About the kind of thought process of someone having a Punisher skull unless little children get shot. Well, it turns out that this particular officer, Ruiz, is the husband of Eva Morales, who was killed in the shooting. She was a teacher at the school. So one could, assume that he was checking his phone in hopes of getting a text from his wife to ensure she was okay. You probably heard initial reports, even before the video came out, that Ruiz was detained by the police officers at the scene during the hour wait, that he had tried to move on the suspect due to any inaction, was subsequently detained and disarmed by the other officers. Now, that isn't true, right? So everybody heard that. I talked about it before during the initial, I'd mentioned it a few weeks ago, right after shooting, and I commented saying that even officers trying to, do the right thing, he was detained, right? But I'm going to show you the video real quick. So you see he checks his phone there. He's standing at the far end of the room. So what we saw there is he was sent into the hallway. I didn't want to comment. I didn't want to talk during the video because I wanted you to see what was happening. I'm going to play it again and hear the gunshots. So where he was standing down the hall was where his wife's classroom was. Okay. So what you saw is he was standing there. He was checking his phone. Now, if you notice, he has two phones. He checks one in the left cargo pocket first, and then he checks one in the right cargo pocket first. I'm not sure why he has two phones, but he has two separate phones. He checks both of them. He hears the gunshots in the classroom his wife is in. He stands there. He's checking a phone. He walks outside. So let me give you a scenario here. Let's say you rush to your house and your wife has texted you, called you, something like that, saying that there's been an armed burglar. Your neighbor calls you. There's an armed burglar man seen going to your house. You rush home. Cops are already outside of the house, and they're like, hey, dude, we got it. We hadn't went in yet. We're just trying to figure out what's going on inside the house. Your wife is inside the house with the guy with the gun. And went in and asked. They told you to stay outside till they figure out to get word from the superiors on what they should do. What would you do? Would you just stand there? Would you be checking your phone? Would you be checking your phone to see if your wife's okay? Not me. Nobody would be standing in my way, and I would be going into the house. And if anybody tried to stop me from me and my wife and my family, they would get the full wrath of violence that I'm capable of. Anybody in between me and my family would get the full wrath of violence that I'm capable of. Right? To see this man, look, I don't want to seem like I'm insensitive, but I'm really trying to put myself into his shoes. Cops know where their wife works. Everybody knows where their wife works, you know. Cops specifically, I know lots of cops. I have lots of cops friends. I have some that's family, some that's married to family, and they're always at their wife's work, right? I'm not sure why it is. It's just a cop thing, something they do. So he knows where his wife is, right? He knows his wife's in the classroom. He hears gunshots in the classroom. He stands there checking his phone and walks outside. He didn't try to go in like they first reported. So I was wrong. I was wrong by reporting that they tried to detain a man from trying to go in, because he did not try to go in. He did not try to go in the classroom and stop it. So yeah, I was wrong. But there would be nobody would stop me, right, from going inside. And I would hope you're the same. Yeah, he stood there for over an hour in that corner. Gunshots going off where his wife was at. Right. Now, Officer Tatum, he's relentlessly defending these guys. He's, and he actually posted this guy's photo up and said, here, I'm just going to put this here on Instagram. Right. Let me tell you, Officer Tatum would wait outside if his wife and kids were in the house. He shows that by what he's saying. He would wait outside. Yes, officer, you guys got it. I trust you guys. Right. He would wait. He'd stand by. But the man knew his wife was in there. His wife had to be thinking that my husband's a cop. He's coming to save me. That had to be going through her mind, right? I know that if my wife was in a situation, she would believe I'm coming to save her. I know she would, right? No doubt. That I would do anything to save her. My kids, they know I would do anything to save them. Even if I would die saving, I would give my life. If it were me, we had guns to our heads and they said, one of you got to die. Go ahead and pop me off. It's fine. Right? There's no way that I'm going to be standing there, man. There's no way. And anybody that got away, I wouldn't care about the badge, about the job. I would not care. Right? Again, I'm very sorry the guy lost his wife. I am. I couldn't imagine what that feels like. And I'm disappointed the narrative they tried to paint by saying that he, fought to go in there, because the truth, the video shows that. Daniel Browley, thank you, man. It is unbelievable. But again, like guys, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm sad for the people that lost their lives there. But man, as a man, as a man, as a husband, a father, having a family, your first responsibility is a protector. That is your first is protector, provider, right? The protector is the number one. If I'm in this amount of distance from my wife and the gunman, I don't care if I don't have anything on me. I'll take a fork in there, right? I'm going in, right? I don't care. I'm going to die. Johan Morales, thanks, buddy. Because let me tell you something. When someone's determined and they're willing to give their life to complete a mission, typically they will succeed. History proves that. The thing is that, the Officer Tatum video, he lost, man. I think someone told me, thousands of followers last night. Just he took a hit on the nose, right? Because he's been very arrogant. I didn't really see him as that before, but he can't admit he's wrong. So, the thing is, I've been wrong before. I admitted it, right? So if you remember in the initial days of the Black Rifle Coffee ordeal, I'd been friends with them guys in the past. And I, said, hey man, I know these guys, they're good guys. I wasn't talking about the company. I said some of the guys that I knew in there were good guys. But whenever I found out the complete details, because I didn't know any of the details, I came back and did a video and I said, I don't support any of this, right? And I distanced myself completely for these cats, right? I had nothing to do with them. You know, so the thing is, we cannot, as men, have this type of arrogance, right? And I've been around these guys. That's why I don't really deal with a lot of other influencers because of this. Look, I'm just a normal guy. Like, followers, a lot of people get wrapped up around that. And I know, like, when people see you, they see the convention or something, they act like they're meeting somebody special. I'm no different than you guys. The thing is that the problem is a lot of these influencers, they do think they're somebody. I mean, they think they're like Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, or somebody. I've been around guys. There's a convention. There's a Instagrammer who has a substantial Instagram following, not as many as I have on YouTube, but I don't really do much on Instagram. I only post, or we only use it for our product sales, right? For the most part, I used to post more things, but I kept getting hit, and I got threatened to get my account shut, and I got 12 strikes. How many more can you get? But anyway, I was at this convention. This guy, he, we did some collaborative stuff, and this dude thought he was Elvis Presley. I'm telling you, like, this dude acted like he was somebody important. Like, he had somebody with him, like acting like, taking care of his little odds and ends, pulling out his chairs. And I mean, it was crazy. That's not really deal with a lot of these people because they are in their own mind. And a lot of people ask me about these other guys, like, hey man, you should work with someone. Look, I know this guy. You don't know him. You see what he sees on YouTube, but I know how arrogant the guy is online. I'm talking about the tactical industry stuff. These other YouTubers, very arrogant guys. They think they're Elvis Presley. So I don't deal with any of these dudes because I'm just a regular guy. You know what I mean? I take the trash out. You know what I'm saying? But Zara, thanks, man. The entire Uvalde Police Department needs to step down. No doubt. No doubt. But you know, in my life, man, I guess, I've had a little bit different life than a lot of these other guys. So the thing is I've been around real heroes, like legitimate heroes. Like, I've served with them, like guys that I'm not even half the man of. Like, these guys are legitimate heroes. And I'm going to talk about one because people are saying that, like, rushing into a room with people with this guy with a weapon, like, you don't do that. That's what Tatum was saying. You don't just rush in. Well, yeah, people do. I'm going to talk about a guy that was in my unit. This guy right here. This guy right here is Byers. Byers he was actually a corpsman for us, because in the Marine Corps, we don't have medics. Navy has corpsmen attached to us. So when I was in the Marine Expeditionary Unit, this cat right here, he's the chief at this point, but then he was, low ranking corpsman, Navy corpsman. Anyway, he is a Medal of Honor recipient, and great guy. Great guy. I talked to him a while back, and he this is the type of hero. This is the type of hero you want, because this guy is not in his own. He don't act like he's some kind of celebrity or anything. He hit me up and said, "Hey man, thanks so much." Yeah, Tatum is a grifter. So he's like, "Thanks so much." He said, "I'm so happy to see that you got a business. You're doing well. I love to see vets being successful and stuff like that." Anyway, let's talk about him for a second. On a patrol, they were coming to rescue a doctor who had been taken, right, hostage. So they came into a building. The foremost assaulter shot at the guard and ran toward the door to make entry as the guard disappeared inside. So he shot this other guy, the assaulter, not him, not Byers. Another guy shot him and ran to go inside. Chief Byers was then the second assaulter to sprint towards the door. There were 6 layers of blankets fastened from the ceilings and the walls to serve as an Afghan door, basically to tangle them up. While Chief Byers tried to rip down the blankets, the first assaulter pushed his way through the doorway and was immediately shot. So it was the buddy of his other SEAL teammate, was shot by enemy AK-47. Byers, fully aware of the hostile threat inside the room, boldly entered, immediately engaged a guard that was pointing an AK-47 at him. While engaging the guard, another adult male darted towards the corner of the room. Chief Myers could not distinguish. So this is under nods. This is under night vision, right? Chief Myers could not distinguish if the person may have been the hostage scrambling away or another guard. And this that was attempting to arm himself. So Chief Byers tackled the unknown male. So he shot up the other guy that had AK-47. He then tackled this male and seized control of him. While in hand-to-hand combat, Chief Byers maintained control of the unknown male with one hand while adjusting focus on his night vision goggles with the other. So if you don't know, I wish I had my night nods here with me. Night vision, if you don't know, if you hadn't worn them before, they're not like, when you put them on, you don't get to see, like you see now, right? It has the focus. So if you're focused, like, somewhat down range, because that's what we want to do whenever you're like shooting, you want to make sure you're able to identify what you're, shooting at, right? But if you pull something up like a map to read it, you got to twist it, kind of like a camera, like a DSLR camera. You got to twist it to read what you have up close. Now the other one will be still out this way, right? So he had to twist it while holding the dude to make sure he was a bad guy. He recognized the male was not a hostage and engaged him. He took him out. By now, other teammates had entered the room and were calling for the doctor to identify himself. Byers heard an unknown voice speaking English from his right side. He immediately leaped across the room and selflessly flung his body on top of the American hostage, shielding him from continued rounds being fired across the room. Simultaneously, Byers identified an additional enemy fire directly behind Dr. Joseph. While covering the hostage with his body, Chief Byers was able to pin the enemy combatant to the wall with his bare hand around the enemy's throat. Right? Read, thanks, buddy. Unable to fire any effective rounds into the enemy, Chief Byers was able to restrain the combatant enough to enable his teammates to fire precision shots, eliminating the threat. So he basically holds the dude around the throat while his homies are shooting the dude in the head, right? But so this is Byers with the medal around his neck. So yeah, this dude was in my unit. Great guy. I'm happy to see a corpsman become a SEAL and on SEAL Team 6, right? Now, obviously, he's part of SEAL Team 6, so he's a highly trained guy. But the thing is that it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for people to put themselves in harm's way, right? Regular soldiers do it all the time. Just leave me alone. Says there's a difference between military and police. Well, there is, but there's also not a difference between cowardice and bravery, right? Cowardice and bravery. Just because I'm sure a lot of my viewers right now, guy that just commented that, would definitely run into a room to save their family. Comment if you'd be willing to run into a room to save your family, because I'm about sure 99%. Maybe you're the only one that wouldn't, and Officer Tatum, but 99% of you would do that, right? So no one has answered why the cops were not outside the windows. The shooter shot into the windows. Why didn't the cops? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it. But yeah, do me a favor though. Leave in the comments what you would, if you would do this, if you would go protect your family, not in the live chat. Do it in the comments so don't bog down the live chat. But let me tell you one thing, man. Let me just play this video again and pay attention one more time before we, talk about the rest of it. Pay attention to what he does. Let me tell you something. This incident solidifies why the Second Amendment is so important. Why we cannot allow them to disarm us, because there's no one that's going to come save you, right? There's no heroes. You have to be your own hero. I've said that for 10 years now on YouTube, here and there. I actually had a Be Your Own Hero series on Instagram for a while. You have to be your own hero, right? The other thing is that this is why training um, is so important, extremely important. LARPinator, thanks, man. Yeah, LARPinator, tell your wife I said hi and thank you guys for your support. Um, it also solidifies why training is so important, right? Because this is the thing, even when you're in fear or you have adrenaline rush, you will resort back to your highest level of training or your lowest level of training, whatever you say. You'll resort back to your training. I mean, I've been in that situation where you don't think and you just do, right? And this is also why fitness is so important. You know, being in shape because you never know what the fight's going to be. You might be like cheap buyers fighting a guy inside your house, right? Kenneth Dunlap, thanks, man. You know, and the guy that said police and military are different, I guarantee a lot of you guys would rush into your home barehanded and take on assailants, right? We all pretty much would, right? Um, it's also why sharing this information and this lifestyle is so important with your family, right, and your friends. It doesn't do any good for my wife. You know, my wife, I'm sure, is very secure when I'm around, but it doesn't do any good when I'm not around. You know, or I can't get to her if I haven't trained her. That's why it's important. Your kids, your kids know what to do. You know, my 3-year-old is scared of the dark. It's a new thing that just came up. You know, um, here, let me talk to Butter Toast. Thanks, buddy. Had unsubscribed from Tatum. Double down yesterday. Yeah, I know, man. I have been correcting on this. I've been correcting on a lot of things, you know, and the thing is I've actually it'll come to like a lot of times I'll talk about things that happen that the mainstream media won't even talk about for 2 weeks. I got a lot of good people that feed me information, you know, so got a lot of good people working behind the scenes, a lot of good contacts that help me. But you know, so my 3-year-old is scared of the dark, right? And so the other day she was like, you know, Daddy, I was putting her to bed. She's like, Daddy, I'm scared of the dark. You know, can you stay with me or whatever? And I was like, I'm thinking if she knew who her dad was, she wouldn't be afraid. But I was like, you know, yeah, I'll stay with you a little bit. I said, but there's nothing to be afraid of here. There's nothing going to hurt you. You know, try to explain that to her. You know, but that that doesn't stop me, even though I'm around. That I would do anything to protect her. That I'm not going to instill, and that I'm already trying to instill what I can in her. Right? I'm not allowing this. You know, the teachers at schools or the woke agenda Marxism to make us weak that's going to be put in there. I mean, we can teach kids at home. We have the internet, dude. Like I can I can learn about anything on the internet. You know, I can teach math, whatever. But the thing is that instilling the training, the aspect of self reliance, the aspect of self defense, the physical training is a great tool. I always talk about this because it makes you push yourself beyond your limits. It's like inducing stress into your body. If you ever seen those videos I did maybe 2 years ago, where I was like in a gas mask shooting, picking locks while picking the lock to get the gun out to shoot in the gas mask, shooting in handcuffs. These are stressors you add because you don't know what the situation you may be in. So I try to put myself through weird situations that I can adapt to anything. Maybe I get shot in the arm. I only have one arm. Maybe I am zip tied or something. Who knows what the case may be. But the fact of the matter is that take this for, just not just beating up on this situation, but just take this as a learning tool. I think that's the most important thing for all of us is to take these type of situations. We see them, dissect them, and take them as a learning tool. And be very careful and be aware of people that are not wanting to, one, take accountability, two, admit error, three, have huge egos, right? Egos is a killer. It'll kill you. Ask anybody on some kind of team. right? Whether that's military, whether that's sports, ego is a killer, right? Um, look at how many good athletes have been over the years, and ego drove them out of their sport, right? They're healthy, they could still play. Ego is a killer. Pride is a killer, right? But again, let me know in the comments, man. Would you? Because I know I would. Like I said, anybody who got in the way of me and my family from me saving or protecting them would get the full wrath of violence I'm capable of. Period. Period. And the thing is that I would almost probably do that for anyone. Um, anyone. If I seen any kids, you know, any if I see someone getting attacked, I would do the same thing, right? And I'm not just saying that to try to brag. This is what I've done. I mean, I've put myself in that situation before. I've gotten between things that I had no business in to stop. So I think that a lot of it has to do with one indoctrination, wanting to follow orders, right? The guy was probably following orders. Can't think for himself. That's how the society we have is that we have to follow the rules. Don't think for yourself. Don't question the narrative. Don't question why you have to wear a mask or why you got to take the juice. All these other things. Just do it. That's what they want, right? So, more on Prepper. Thanks, man. He says, Jack, how do you resist overreacting in a situation such as this due to emotions or adrenaline? It all comes from training and putting your body through stress. So that's one thing that I was actually an event happened the other day, and it was a very stressful event. All right, and I had to react. And I told my wife after the fact, like, I'm so thankful for the training I've been in because being able to, even though you have adrenaline dumps, you can keep it in check, and that comes through training and putting yourself through very tough situations, physical situations, put yourself through physical, you know, fitness, your runs, fast runs, pushing yourself to your limits and still staying, you're keeping your cognitive abilities there. Some things that could, you could do that is physically do something very physically, swing a kettlebell, burpees, and then try to do something technical with your hands, something that takes fine motor skills. Then do it again and repeat fine motor skills, right? Or if you need to, for like a tactical situation, obviously training in tactics, take classes, practice it. Buy the Watchmen film. Let me put the banner up. People always, man, they buy the Watchmen film and they thank me so much for this and they share it with everybody. There's even like whole neighborhood watch groups like using this right now. Exile, we beat this to death, brother. we we don't know. We have no idea. We don't know how you afford it. We're searching that. Anyhow, Black Scout Films, I teach you how to do single man CQB. The thing is you're not always going to have a team on with you. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have your fire team, your squad, or whatever. You're not going to have it. You're going to probably be by yourself. And in the Watchmen, I talk about, and you can see the trailer of the Watchmen. Just type in the Watchmen Black Scout, and you can watch the trailer. But the thing is that single man CQB, you're trying to get from, like, let's say I get to the house because I talk about the situation. What I suggest, if I'm in I talk about this in the film, but I'll go ahead and tell you. Essentially, if, like, let's say I'm in my home, someone breaks in. Do I go CQB to them? No, no. I set up a ambush for them, and I talk about this in the film. I actually demonstrate, show you how you do it in your house, using fatal funnels and things like that. Let's say I arrive home, wife's there, gunman's inside. She texted me. I have to CQB to her, right? Close quarters battle. So I have to maneuver through the house tactically using angles to make sure that I have the tactical advantage, that I kill them, they don't kill me. I teach you completely how to do that in that film, Black Scout Films. Go ahead and comment, guys that have bought the film. Let them know. We have it for $10. I mean, you can't beat this deal. Train with your family. Make your family watch. I talk about protocols, all this sort of stuff, right? Tremendously. This is a tremendous step forward, and you can't. It's the best $10 you'll ever spend in your life. Anyhow, practice, training, because muscle memory. Once you get to where you can do something without having to think about it, right? Drawing without thinking about it, these sort of things, right? Yeah, that's right. El Toro patron. That's right, buddy. You can have all the guns you want. If you're not trained, they're useless. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and drop this video. It's been 30 minutes. Again, seriously, prayers go out to the guy. But there's no way that I would have sat there while I'm hearing gunshots where my wife's in the room of. Not a chance. Pesco, thank you, brother. Not a chance. Anyhow, guys, let me know when the video posts. Leave the comments. It helps the algorithm tremendously. You guys helped me immensely last night. Now, I did get hit on the video. I did get flagged. However, so it's not monetized, but the algorithm, it boosted it tremendously. So if you would do that for me again tonight, once the video posts, go comment. And again, I always appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, man, hearing me talk. I do appreciate all your support. The monetary, I really appreciate a lot. But even you guys just watch and like and comment, you're a huge help. Love all you guys. Thank you. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Keep your family safe, guys. Keep them safe. As a man, provider, protector, right? Protector, provider. Protector's number one. All right, guys. Stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Have a good weekend. Take care.